Hey, what's up, brothers? Welcome back to another episode of the Bate Escape. You are now listening to your boy, Beastly Peter. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's had a really great week. Um, I've had a really interesting week. Just a lot of new things beginning, exciting things to accomplish coming this fall. If you're following me on social media, which I feel like you really should, because I'm like your favorite virtual internet solo sexual, right? I'm your favorite, right? I hope I'm your favorite. Um, if I'm not your favorite, then I hope that I'm somewhere in your top three. You know, but you can find me on social media being social with everybody because I love to talk to you guys, and you can find me all under the handle Beastly Bader. So yeah, Instagram, Twitter, beatworld.com, new Tumblr, all of those great things. And I love talking to everybody. I really do. It's one of the reasons why I got into this game. Because more than anything, I really just wanted to make a friend. I mean, I literally was just like, I got no friends right now, and I feel like I relate most to my bait brothers. And how can I find them? And here I am, and here you are. So I'm really happy. I hope that you're having a great morning or afternoon or evening, and that you're listening to this either in your car or having breakfast or dinner, or maybe you're just in bed, hanging out naked and smoking a blunt and feeling it. And that's hot too. That's what I will always encourage you to do. Absolutely. All the time. Um, yeah, so my week's been really interesting. I've just had to navigate really, not difficult situations, but I feel like, when you really love someone, like it could be a friend or, your mom or your dad, or whatever, brother, um, and you're just at a point in your life where you guys are just not vibing. Like, you just can't figure out what it is. Like, something's setting you off, and you guys are just like awkward around each other, and it's like not fun, and it's, causes a lot of anxiety, and it's not cool. Well, I'm kind of there right now. So trying to navigate these really challenging relationship with someone that I really love in my life, and it's just like, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, we're just not seeing eye to eye, and we love each other very much, but it's been difficult. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I feel like we're gonna get through it because we've been through a lot together, and we're gonna get through this too. It's nothing that's gonna tear us apart. What's that song? I think it's by Starship. Nothing. Oh wait, that's nothing's gonna stop us now. It's completely not what they're singing about. It's fine, cool, whatever. You guys love this podcast, and I love that you love it. Let's see. Let's start off by saying that we'll talk about some explicit content and use explicit language. So I encourage you to please be over the age of 18. Also, too, I'm not a licensed medical professional. I do not have a license to give out advice. I simply talk about the things that are happening in my life and my opinions, and nobody else's. And I hope you guys can relate. So there's that. I haven't said in the last couple of episodes, and I feel like I really should, because people tend to get some shit twisted. And I'm just like, hey, listen, I'm not in charge of your life, okay? I just give out info. Um, I'm really having fun with my Instagram. You guys should follow that. It's private. Just request me. Definitely add you. It's great. I actually love doing all of this with you guys. I love doing the podcast and Twitter and the Bait World articles. Speaking of, I just wrote another this weekend, and there's so much fun to do, and that'll probably come out Wednesday evening, I believe. They usually let me know by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and I don't know where they are. I think they're on the East Coast, so 6 their time, around that time. So yeah, that makes sense. Um, I'm looking forward to you guys reading those, and I love when you guys send me DMs and you're just like specifically for the article. You'd be like, "Hey, I read your article and I thought this part was cool," and I'm just like, "Holy shit, you guys are reading my shit!" Like I never would have thought that would happen. Like it's just been really overwhelming and really amazing. So this is probably going to be the season finale of the Bate Escape. Like I said in my prior podcast, like when I first started this podcast, I had no idea what it was going to be turned into, and I didn't even know if I was going to stick with it. And here we are, 10 episodes later, and it's pretty impressive for me. And I think the reason why I've stuck with it for so long is I really, really enjoy um, being able to be in a position to share my experience and make a change in other people's lives. I think first and foremost, it's probably the most important thing that I could probably ever do in my own life is to um, share my journey. You know, they people always say there's never a testimony without a test, and I've been through some shit, and there's some stuff that I feel like I've been ashamed of for a really long time. Um, and you know, you live your life, and you're just kind of like going through this, navigating these difficult situations, whatever they may be, and you know, you kind of just wonder like, why, what's the point of all this? You know, like it can get really hard sometimes, and you just kind of have to sit back and you're just kind of like at a loss, and you're just like, what the fuck am I supposed to learn here? You know, but it's never you're never learning it while you're experiencing it. Like the lesson always comes after the fact. Um, and, you know, even before I started this podcast, I had a really long personal conversation about why I was doing this in the first place. And you know, I'll be honest. The in the last couple of months that I've been in this game, I feel like I've sort of lost my way, and you know, you get so caught up in the idea of like, you know, I got to reach all these followers, and I have to like show my face and like be the most, you know, do the most and be the most. And you know, you're constantly scrolling Twitter and social media, and you're just like, oh, that guy did that, and his shit looks better than mine, and I should, you know, I should do that to get more clout and followers. And it's all just a weird mental, you know, fucked up head game. And I'm just like, you know, I think I feel like I need this break to just kind of reassess and like you know, re-examine why I'm even here and why I'm even showing off. You know, I'll be honest, I've been questioning it the last, you know, couple of days, thinking to myself like, what is this really worth it? You know, like what am I really fucking doing here, man? Like, what's the point of all of this? You know, and I just stay committed, and because I want to make a change, and it feels so good, you guys. Like it's probably one of the first times in my life where I look forward to like really doing this, and like it gives me accountability because now you guys are expecting this content, and I love it. You know, and I love that you guys are tuning in. Um, and like I said, I just never thought in my life that I would be in a position to fuck mentor someone. Like I get you, I get these messages from these young guys. They're just like, you know so much, you like, please mentor me. And I'm just I you know, I'm at a loss because I'm just like, I don't even feel like I understand it all. I'm just navigating my solo sexual journey with you guys. We're all, you know, we're in this together. This is really brand new to me. um well, I mean, not this is brand new, like this podcast being social and like, you know, doing all this stuff. I mean, I've been masturbating solo sexual for the last couple of years, but you know, it's only been within the last year that I just really identified with being solo sexual, and really have come to terms with how profound it's affected my life. It's changed so many things around me. Sometimes it's hard to like describe that. It's hard to communicate that for people to like really understand it. But yeah, I think a break would be good for me. Plus, too, like I'm not going anywhere. You know, that I don't want you guys to be upset and think, oh, he's like quitting on us. I'm not. I'm just taking a break, and you know, I want to really. Um, spend some time. You know, we didn't have a summer, so you know, I'm gonna be taking a trip soon to Utah, which would be really fun. And just spending some time alone and recharging. And I really want to think of really cool like ideas for this podcast. You know, like I said before, I want to bring on special guests and you know maybe co-host a podcast and you know keep you updated on all the things before I start the fall, because I feel like I'll be really busy in the fall. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, that's my spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't know who's listening to this podcast, but if you're out there, just want to say thanks. Um, you know, your messages really do affect me profoundly. And just, I just want you guys to know that you matter. Um, uh, and that I like see you guys. And I know it can be really challenging sometimes being solo sexual, because you're like alone all the time. But you know, I think if we just kind of all stick together somehow and communicate and be friends or whatever, um, then you know we won't feel so alone. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll listen to a quick sponsor, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you so much again for listening to those sponsorships. They, you know, they do give me money for those. It's you know, it's not a lot, but you know, my goal here is to continue to make these podcasts and get a wider audience. To 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 make our community a lot bigger and to enhance our brotherhood. Um, but yeah, you know, to be fully transparent, the money that I get from anything that you guys give me, whether it's with OnlyFans, which that'll be starting soon, and my OnlyFans got approved. I still don't know how I'm gonna make that work or what that's gonna look like, but you know, I'm taking all of your suggestions and advice into consideration. So you know, I'm making it for you guys. You know, you guys are you know hopefully subscribing. So just giving you guys what y'all want to see and hear and do and stuff like that. But you know, any of the monies that I make off of any of this just really goes to pay for my college tuition. um, you know, and I have a lot of college debt. It's fucked up, but that's the reality of where I'm at right now. Anyway, let's get into this show. Sorry, I just clapped, and I'm trying to get better at like this whole microphone thing. Um, but I'm don't have like I guess the proper year. Um, it's a very low budge setup here. You know what? I'm a resourceful person. I've had to be my entire life, so I'm making it work, and I'm very proud of that. But today's podcast, I wanted to really focus on this idea of like brotherly love with your Bate brothers. I think it's one that doesn't really get discussed very much, and maybe I'll write an article about it and go more into depth about this podcast. But I was going through my books in storage because I just recently moved and I was pulling out all my stuff, and I was like, oh, I have a bunch of great books that I should really reference and talk about on the podcast and stuff. But this book is it's by Tashin, but it's the Forever Butt book. If you're not familiar with Butt Magazine, it's a magazine from 2001. I believe it was in the UK or somewhere in Europe, obviously, because you guys have good taste over there. But it was like a super gay magazine, like a super gay queer magazine. It talks about all things gay. Anyway, I don't think the magazine's in circulation anymore, but they do have. I was just reminded today that they do have a online community. So if you go to buttmagazine.com, you can become a butthead. Get it? It's pretty smart. And yeah, you can meet. It's like you can meet people from all over the world that are into like more butt stuff. It's a really cool book. You guys should pick it up. It's but forever butt by Tashin. I forgot where I bought this book from. You probably just go to the buttmagazine.com website. They'll probably have a link for it there. But the reason why this book is important is because I was just kind of skimming through it and it landed on an article called. Sorry, I'm like rustling pages. Called Super Twins. Yeah, they're two twins, Ian and Mark Hundley. They're 34-year-old Canadian brothers, and the title is "Brothers Love Each Other" or "Brothers Love Each Other Forever." It's cute. It's cute. It has like a portrait of like both of them shirtless and like, these shorts, and they're like one has the arm around each other. It's nothing sexual. It's just they're both looking into the camera, and it just oh, there's another picture of them naked. I don't know what they're holding to cover themselves, but yeah, it's a really cool picture. Cute guys. But I was reading the article and they were kind of talking about like how it's like to be twins and also be gay. And they talk about like not wanting to be identical, and they're both artists and they like compete with each other. But the part that I found really interesting was when the interviewer asked one of them about their boyfriend, and he goes on to say, um, I had one boyfriend and we never did anything anal. I know that can sound dull or limiting, but it wasn't. And then the interview asks how long, and then he replies 4 years. And then the interview's like, "Oh my god, 4 years? Could you do it again?" And then he responds, "I think I could. I mean, I love sex, but if fucking is absent, it doesn't mean that it's not fun." I need a moment of silence for this quote. I need to praise the bait god for this beautiful, immaculate understanding, this sex positive information that I'm spewing out to you like Sunday gospel. It's so fucking good, brothers. Like that shit right there is fucking Bible. Um, and it was so profound to me, and I was like, "Fuck, I have to like talk about this because it's so true. Like, it's so true." And I'm so happy that he's able to say that. Like, if fucking is absent doesn't mean that it's not fun. And it's so true. Like I feel like I've experienced that so profoundly in the last couple of years that I've been solo sexual. Like there just came a point in my life where I just did not enjoy penetrative sex. Like I was still into oral, I loved oral, and I'm still into masturbation and rimming and like all these other sex things that you could do, but it just couldn't physically insert myself into an anus. Like I just couldn't. I don't know what happened. Like there was a point where I just kind of like I stopped and I was like, I can't. I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's not fun for me. Um, so then I just had to check myself, and that was a point in my life where I was like, okay, I'm not dating anyone right now. Like I need to just figure this out. Like I literally didn't date anyone or like get with anyone for like almost like 8 9 months, and I just in that time I just really like was like, what the fuck does this mean? So I was like doing my research. I went on bateworld.com. I started my Twitter. I started like doing all these like no what I, yeah, and so like I started doing all the things to like really navigate this new space. So it was like I don't know what's happening with me. I feel weird. Like I feel like this isn't normal. And we decided I'm using it for the purposes of this story, but I excommunicated the word normal from my vocabulary. Normal and weird. Like those two words, I just completely stopped using because I don't think they're sex positive in any way. In any way in this like forum or space. But anyway, yeah. Um, so then that kind of, this article kind of grew on for me, and I was just like, oh, well, like they're like twin brothers, and they love each other, right? And they're both gay, and like they both have like this really beautiful like camaraderie, like from the interviews, that I'm reading here. Like I feel like they get along really well, and they like love each other as brothers, um, and nothing completely sexual. Like there's nothing sexual about it. And I thought that was just so amazing, and it was just like, oh, like that's brotherly love to me. Like that's essentially like what I feel most bait brothers want to obtain. Um, like this level of intimacy that could potentially cross over into things that are sexual, but not fully committed to it. Because, I think from my experience, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's this like brotherly sexual like acceptance and comfort and raw loving um like emotion, like that you would have from your own brother. Like if you loved your brother enough to have those feelings without it being sexual, and then you can take those feelings and then share them with your bait brother, and it has the potential of being sexual. Does that make any sense in any way, shape, or form? But yeah, so then I just started thinking like we should just be brotherly all the time. That's always like my goal for my own personal life. Like I think being brotherly can mean so many different things to so many different people, based on your experiences, and I always try to remind myself and remind others that experience isn't shared, it's completely independent, and it just completely depends on the person that's been living that experience. So all you can do is like honestly and authentically communicate that to other people. um, but I think for me, being brotherly implies that you are free of shaming and are free of judgment, and wholly accept your brother as another male, and you honor that male for his maleness. So I enjoy, I have the most pleasurable experience when I can share that with another man. So um, being men together and understanding only male things is the intimacy that really arouses me. It's like our own secret language, like these like sexual energies that we're transferring through our penises, like only another male could understand. And we can talk about the different aspects of our maleness that really gets us aroused. And I think in that conversation, in that sharing, in that space, that male enhanced energy space, it's all those mixture things, right? It's like a huge like pot of like all these male um all these male qualities, you could say. um and you're just kind of like in this space together, and like kind of stirring it, and it's just like there's no one else around, like nothing else matters. Like you could get a hotel room, you can lock yourself in an apartment or a tiny bedroom, and it's like you and your bro, and you can share, you can say whatever you want, you can share whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. Like you are sharing this experience together, and you're bonding together as men, and being vulnerable. And it's something I feel like a lot of men don't do with each other. And I've certainly experienced that with like straight friends. Like it's just, this like automatic dismissal like of what if you show any type of vulnerability, and then you're just like weak, or like you're like not cool enough, and you're just like, well, I never understood that. It's like, when did it become cool not to care? Because then it just makes you this cold person, and you're just like walking through life unfazed by things, which leaves you absent of so many different experiences. Like you can't, if you're not vulnerable with your brother, like then you're not vulnerable with other people in your life. um, it's that transparent. And so, like, it's only in your best interest to be brotherly and vulnerable with like everyone you meet. And and I think people or brothers like get thrown off by that because it's scary. Again, it's like, you're being emotional with one another, and there's an opportunity for you to like really go deep and share some stuff. But I come to realize that if you have like no one to talk to, or you just keep that shit to yourself, it fucks you up, man. Like it spews out like a bad oil like all over everything that you do, and it shits on everything. And it's not good, man. Like I have been such a horrible person to so many people simply because I was not willing to like fucking dig deep, man. Like, do the shadow work. Like figure out what's triggering you. Like, why do you feel a certain way when some shit happens to you? And a lot of people don't want to put in that work because it's fucking work. I get it. Like, people are busy with like family and friends and partying and work and making money and like being social. But it's like, if you're not working on yourself at the same time, you're fucking living life like just like a fucking robot, you know? And I was like that all the time. Like I was angry all the time. I was sad all the time. Like I was upset all the time. It's just like it came to a point in my life where people were just like, "Bro, like we can't fucking stand you. Like you're fucking too angry, dude. Like you got a bad attitude. Like don't fucking call me. Like don't hang out with me." And you're just like, like, well, fuck it then. Like I don't want to hang out with you either. But that's not the right approach. Like if everyone around you is like telling you something's wrong, or they notice something in you, like it's probably in your best interest to kind of just check your within and check yourself and just be like, yo, why am I being so obnoxious right now? I mean, you're not obnoxious, but I'm speaking for myself here, and it's just something that I've learned to identify within myself. Anyway, all this to say, um, is that one of the greatest things about being a solo sexual and engaging in your brotherhood is learning to identify the really positive traits of being a brother. And those things are to be sincere, to be genuine, to be kind, to be vulnerable, to be compassionate, to create a safe space, to not judge, to not sex shame, um, and just genuinely just support one another in really great things. Like if you come across a brother who's like not doing so well, and they're like deliberately ruining their lives, like you got to feel that situation. I'm not telling you to step in, but you might want to reach out to the bro and be like, yo, like something's off, man. Like we need to get you together. And I don't think a lot of men do that. Like even that courtesy, like if you see your brother struggling, like don't fucking back down and be like, oh, he'll figure it out. He's a tough guy. Like, he's got this. No, like engage, like figure out what's wrong. Like lend an ear. Like just know, make sure that your brother knows that you're available to like support in any way that you possibly can. Do it in the most broiest way possible if it makes you that uncomfortable, but just do it. And I think it's so important to just continuously check in with one another and ask how we're doing. Like we don't do that enough. And I'm guilty of that too. I get so caught up with all this shit that I have to do in my life, and I forget to check in. But like these are my check-ins. These are my weekly. When I write an article, I'm checking in. When I tweet, I'm checking in. Um, and I hope that translates. Then you guys can always just hit me up on Insta stuff. You know, I'm not a fucking like celebrity. Like I'm like, easily accessible here. So just today, some brother was like, "I found you on your Twitter and your podcast, and I just wanted to reach out and say hi. And I'm not sure if you'll see this message and or you'll respond." I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fucking respond. Like, what's up, dude? Like, thank you. Like, you're a brother now. You know, like, let's talk. Like, what are you about?" Um, but I'm really proud of being a true brother. Like, I remember like years ago not even being able to like call someone a brother because I felt like it was really awkward and it just felt so macho to me, and I was like, I'm such a bro, like brother. um, but now I love it. I'm so proudful. Like I'm so no, that's not a word, but it causes a lot of pride in me. You know, like when new guys reach out to me or like you guys talk to me, I'm just like, brother, like what's going on? Like I miss you, brother. Like how are you? You know, like I genuinely care. Uh, it's fun. It's really cool for me. But yeah, like being, having, I call it brotherhood mentality, everything that I've just talked about. And when you have brotherhood mentality and you use that in other aspects of your life, it only enhances those relationships equally. And you could do it with like your mom, your dad, your brother. You could do it with friends. You could do it with like colleagues at work, like your peers, like, professional setting. Like it doesn't always have to be sexual, is what I'm trying to communicate to y'all. Like brotherhood mentality can be non-sexual. It's just an attitude, and it's a good one to have. It's only positive to me. Um, so when I tell you that you're brother and you got brotherhood mentality, it's all good. Like it's all love. And I feel like I am really attracted to that because I don't feel like I ever had it when I was younger or when I was a teenager. Like I was just pretty much like a freak, and everyone thought I was weird and kooky and fucking gay, and like people making fun of me and shit, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to do this alone, and I think for a long time, like it was, having that camaraderie and that brotherly love with other men just seemed really ungenuine to me, and it was scary because like that was the trauma response to it. Like I just was like, I don't want to be fucking anyone's brother. Like if being a brother means that you're mean or you're like racist or prejudiced or homophobic, then I don't want that whatsoever. And I think for a long time, I let that dictate how I felt about being brotherly. Like I didn't like it, and then I was just like, why am I being so hateful, man? Like that shit's in the fucking past. Like you gotta let it go. Like embrace, turn it a negative to a positive here. Like really work at it and just be like, no, I'm gonna take that fucking word back. I'm not gonna be scared of it. I'm gonna use it uh, in an endearing way, in a way that only causes good feeling. And you have that right. Like you can fucking totally take control of your life and make those changes. I did. Being brotherly. Fuck it. Like be brotherly to yourself too, man. Like just be brotherly all around. Like you don't have to call people brother, but like just know that you have that within you. And I think if we're able to just fucking like get along and like create this really positive safe space with one another, like it just enhances the entire brotherhood. Um, so then I encourage you, like the next time you find yourself just kind of cruising bait world and just kind of looking for a quick dick, which is totally cool. You guys can do that. It's your sexual life is yours. But I encourage you to like really stop and like read people's profiles. Hopefully they fill them out. And if you don't have to fill that profile on baitworld.com, fill it out. I love reading profiles. I love to know what people are into and shit. So like I read profiles and I'm just like, oh cool, like he's into like what I'm into, or he's not into what I'm into. But that's cool too. And maybe I want to, reach out and figure out if I'm into that too. So like I know that we're like in a sexual space, and I enjoy showing off. I don't have a problem. Like I'm really proud of my sex and how I show it, and I hope this communicates to you all is that solo sexuality can be sexy, it can be playful, and it can be macho. If I communicate those two things in everything that I do, whether I'm showing off on Twitter or I'm taking a photograph or I'm writing an article, like those are the things that I want to communicate. And why I got into the game to begin with. And I think if I continue to stay on that path, I'll have really great success with this. And I don't care. I don't care about all the fucking followers in the fucking world. Like if I'm not making a change, then what's it really worth? Like I can fucking stick at 5K or whatever, and I'll be fucking happy as long as you guys like, as long as the material that I continue to put out just really resonates with y'all. And that's me being brotherly to you, right? I hope you guys can like sense that brotherly love. Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys from like all different parts of the world. Really, it's like all over the place. Like wow, like who knew? It's really cool. We exist everywhere. It's nice. It's nice too. It's nice to also like get different like perspectives of like soul sexuality. It's interesting. Like maybe that's another case study for me. Like the differences between like countries and like states and like regions and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be a really cool one to do too. Um, but yeah, being brotherly, I really love it now. It like really turns me on sexually. It's just a vibe. It's such a sexy vibe. It's like all male. Someone once asked me if I thought that transgendered men could be a part of the brotherhood, and I was when I first got asked that question, I was conflicted, because to me, I just thought like oh like I would think you'd have to be born male because you would need a penis to be part of the brotherhood. Like we're so dick focused, that I couldn't imagine someone trans that did not have male born genitalia to be able to engage. And then I quickly, well not quickly, but like during the course of research and like talking to people and like kind of talking to other men, like I realize now that like brotherhood mentality is really just mental. Like it has nothing to do with like your genitals or your assigned birth, your whatever sex you were assigned at birth. Like if you have brotherhood mentality, then you're totally welcome to come and to join us in the brotherhood and delight in all things male. But that'd be a really interesting conversation. Like if I had, maybe that's what I'll do. That's definitely something that I'm going to do in season 2. Like I want to have a transgendered brother talk on this podcast, and we're going to get deep into some conversation. That'd be really cool. That's actually a really cool idea. All right. No one fucking steal that. I'm doing it. I should probably keep these things to myself. Like, I'm sure there's like some other brother somewhere like trying to listen to my shit. Don't. No. I'm an idiot. I'm just paranoid that way. um, but I hope you brothers kind of get the gist of this podcast. Like I said, I'm really excited to take a break and come back with you guys with season 2 and share a lot more things. And um, I'll be furthering my education, going to school, so like I'll be able to share a lot of that information also too. So that'll be really fun and cool. Um, Continue to explore my solo sexual journey and share it with you guys, and hope you guys enjoy or relate to whatever the stuff that I'm going through. It's been nice to get to know you all. I might not completely go away. I might just do like little like, I don't know. I was thinking of doing like little empowering like snippets on this podcast, so it's not completely dead. That'd be really nice. Just like little blurbs or paragraphs that I write. just to let you guys know how amazing you are, how important you are, and how loved you are, because you are loved. Like, people do care about you. People might not always show it the best way, as I've come to recently find out. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, people really do have genuine love for you. You have to believe that, because if you think otherwise, it's just gonna drive you fucking crazy. And life's too short. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for listening again. You can find me being social on all my social medias. I do have a link tree, so you can just click on that, and it'll take you to all the stuff that I'm messing around with. It makes it a lot easier. But I hope you guys have a really cool end of summer. Do a bunch of amazing, great stuff. I know that we can't do much because of COVID, but try to figure out ways to have some really cool fun, and enjoy the summer before the fall comes, because it's gonna come really quick. And I'll be thinking of y'all, and I'll keep being social, of course. So please reach out, say hi, and I will see you in season 2. Later, dude.